And he's still concerned enough to admit that this needs to stop immediately so it can be assessed whether these wind farms are just eviscerating ocean life and these whales. Sir, it's good to have you on. I know that you're a supporter of wind energy, which makes it interesting that you still are you're in support of this full stop here. What do we know at this point?
Well, let me straighten something out. I'm not in support of wind energy. I haven't been for a very long time. I think it's something that's going to, in so many ways, present problems. What I was in support of was years ago a small pilot project that would test how it would work and if there would be any harm. I mean, 2 or 3 smaller windmills. This is something I've never supported. This is going to be hundreds and hundreds of windmills, and these wind turbines are going to be over 1,000 feet tall, 3 times the size of Lady Liberty. They are affecting the ocean floor. They're going to affect the fishermen. They're going to affect navigation. They are environmentally bad. But the reason that this exists is because there's so much money, so much power, and so much international connections to get this done.
Sure.
This is not about the environment. This is about big money.
Can I ask you, do you think there's any chance that if this
big money.
Yeah, if this investigation finds that, I mean, that these wind farms are doing damage, I still don't think you'd be able to stop it. I'm not sure that you could.
Oh, it's going to be hard, but we're going to do everything we can. I've already asked for hearings, as you know. We are in the process of scheduling the first hearing, which will actually, the vast majority of these wells, there's about 12 now, and 9 or 10 of them are actually have been beached or died within my district. So we're going to have a big meeting there with a lot of the local people, first of all, being able to talk about it, the fishermen, scientists. There's a couple of good environmentalists like Clean Ocean Action and Cindy Zimpf who really do believe in doing the right thing. The other environmentalists seem to be bought off, literally. There's huge amounts of money going to these environmental groups, and they just don't care. This is an anti-environmental thing, what's happening. It's doing damage, and it's going to do even more damage when people get the price tag, because people's utility bills are going to go way up.
This machine has just already
been,
this machine's already been just set in motion, and it's just, you just wonder if there's anything that can stop it. Sir, I got to ask you before we go, we saw you last night. You gave a great speech about Newsmax on the floor of the House. About what's happened to us, booted off DirecTV a week ago. 13 million households were no longer in. Today, your Senate colleagues also sent a letter to the CEOs of AT&T, DirecTV, and the minority shareholder, or stakeholder, I should say, TPG, saying it appears that this decision may be the latest example of big business suppressing politically disfavored speech at the behest of liberal Democrats. And that the important part here is to remind people that DirecTV is willing to pay any liberal network and almost any network at all. They just don't want to pay us. And that, to me, is a form of censorship. Go ahead, sir.
It is a form of censorship. This is pure censorship. You know, it's funny because I said, you know, today I talked about Second Amendment rights on the floor. Yesterday I was talking about First Amendment rights. This is bigger than all of us. It really is. This is about freedom of speech and where our country is going to go into the future. The fact that a political party can be so powerfully connected to a business and literally stop the freedom of speech and open ideas where everybody comes to the table. You know what I believe in, and I know you believe the same. I want to hear from everybody. I want to hear from people that are liberal and conservative, people that are, you know, at all sides of the political spectrum. But what we're doing is we're not allowing those who are conservative to speak, and we're stomping their voices out. And we've got to fight hard. This is no place for the weak. I mean, you've got to stand tall. You've got to fight hard. And talking about hearings, I promised you folks, and I'm working on it, and I brought it up the other day in Judiciary, and folks are really listening, that we're going to have some kind of hearings on this too, because it isn't right. Something's obviously wrong when other stations are literally, you know, don't have the viewership that you do, don't produce the revenue that you do, but they're allowed to be stayed on because they're liberal. We got to stop this. It's freedom of speech issue.
That's exactly right. Congressman, thank you so much. Jeff Van Drew from the state of New Jersey. We appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Again, 1 week since